everyone, Melanie Muenchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. I really have missed you the last few weeks. Thank you so much for your patience until I came back from my little hiatus from videos. Got a really simple project today with my newest set from Gina K Designs, Stately Flowers 12. Going to be showing how you can do some layering and blending with your stamps and sponging using the Distress Oxide inks from Ranger. The greeting set that I'm going to be using today, this is called You Get Me, and it's free for a limited time with a 75 or more purchase. We're going to be having a new incentive set in a couple days. So if you like the You Get Me, go ahead and get that now. In a couple days, it will be available for purchase at Gina K Designs. In addition to these two stamp sets, you're going to need the Picked Raspberry and the Seedless Preserves Distress Oxide ink pads. And then I'm going to be using the Memento Tuxedo Black for my greeting. Got some little sponge daubers here. These are the jumbo ones that Gina carries. I'm going to be using the Distress Sprayer. This is also from Ranger, and this is really nice. You can use other squirt bottles or tap with a toothbrush or drop your water onto these Distressed Oxide inks with a brush. But I really do like this because you can control how fine or thick drops you want to create by how hard you hold in on the sprayer. Couple blocks here we're using for those images. The cardstock I'm using, I've got the Gina K Black Onyx. This is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2 for my base. And then I've got a 4 inch by 5 1/4 inch piece of the Pure Luxury Heavy Base Weight White. I like to use the heavy base weight whenever I'm doing the spraying because that is not going to warp as much. You can also use a heat gun if you want to dry it a little bit in between doing your stamping and your layering after you've misted, also to keep it from buckling. And then I've got some of the Gina K Connect glue. Envelope that I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on, and then a new product that's coming out to Gina K Designs this week. This is called the Gina K Designs Tidy Towel. So it's a little rag and it arrives damp. If you leave it out, this is kind of like those swim towels you might have seen. It will dry and become hard, but then you can reactivate it by just using water. You can also use different stamp cleaners on here, but I've just been using it with water, and I love this for cleaning off of my stamps. Some of you might prefer a scrubber, but the rag, it just really gets in all those little crevices, and then you can just rinse it right off. I also got a tip from Susie Moore, who is on our design team. You can store it in just one of these little baby snack cups. This is from the Dollar Tree, just for $1. This way, it's going to keep it moist in there, but not make it smell because it's still got that airflow. And it's going to keep this wet rag away from your paper projects so that you don't get them wet when you don't want them to be. So let's begin. Let's get started. We're just going to be doing a little bit of sponging and layering to make a really simple card today. So let's begin by inking this up. I'm going to start with my lighter color Distress Oxide ink first. So you might have had those Distress pads before from Ranger. The Oxide is different because it's going to react with the water, and it also has properties of both a dye and a pigment pad. So you're really going to be able to layer these colors up, and they're not going to dry as quickly as a dye pad would, and so you get a lot more blending on your cardstock. So really bright, vivid colors that you can layer, but I still want to put the lighter color on first here. And I'm going to be leaving some white areas, and I just kind of want that pink just to move around and your eye to move around on this card. And then I'm going to layer the Seedless Preserves over that. I've got my purple dauber for that. So I kind of try to keep one dauber per colored family, but use lots of different purples on this same one. You can wash them off too though, but it's a nice bright fuchsia here. Kind of a magenta. And those are just going to blend really softly into one another. Make sure you leave those white areas though. So this is an older dauber, so it's shredding just a little bit. And then just a little bit over here. And if you find you're getting a hard line, just grab a little bit more of that ink and then smear it on until it's softened. Okay? Now, before we do our stamping, I'm going to do just a couple sprays. So if you hold it in just barely, you're going to get larger drops, and if you press the whole way, you're going to get a finer mist. See how it's just lifting that up and you're getting those beautiful white spots there, and it's kind of weathering and distressing that. So that's all I'm going to do there. I'm going to take my heat gun here and I'm just going to dry it up a little bit before I move on. And see how that's straightening out my paper. And then we're going to do our stamping with these same pads. And you can mix some of the Gina K die pads if you want. I'm going to use this purple and pink to stamp the lilac from my Stately Flowers set. So I'm going to start with the pink. And I'm just going to put this on in a few places. I'm just trying to kind of create some texture and some really soft flowers on the card. Okay, so we have that pink in the background. And then you can take that little tidy towel to clean off the ink from that stamp. I'm just going to wash right off. If you want to keep one side clean, you can do that. But see how this looks a little bit more like paint. And the towel darkens up when you get it wet. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to do the preserves. So see, it's really subtle. Okay, so I'm going to do one down here, and I want that overlapping that white so you can really see that detail. But I just wanted to create today's card to show you don't have to do any coloring. You can really make these intricate line art stamps come alive with some sponging or embossing. Okay. And then I'll clean that off with my towel again. And actually, ink this up one more time. Since I haven't lined the card, I want to show you what this looks like on dark cardstock, like paint. You can put a liner in here if you want, but I think I'll probably just use a gel pen. So see, that would not happen with a pink dye pad. You have to use something that's got pigment in it or one of these oxide pads. All right, now we're going to put one of our greetings on. So I've already used the You're So Kind and Find Your Tribe. So I think let's go ahead and use, I'll do You're My Person on this one. Such fun greetings, ones that I didn't already have in my collection. So I'm just going to nest that right there between the flowers. So it's kind of like they're both pointing to the greeting there. Kind of helps you read it. And clean that off with our towel. And then I'm going to use this little heart border. And again, I wanted to show this because with these very bold, contemporary looking hearts and these mixed fonts and this really trendy script, these really traditional classic looking flowers just look so cute with it. So we've got the flowers leading in on both sides. Excuse me, there's my phone. Okay. All right, so we're going to adhere this to the front. And I love this Connect glue because you can just go right up to the edge with a really fine bead of glue. And put a little bit there in the middle. And it's going to give you a little bit of wiggle room when you set that down on top of your card base. If you don't have it centered just like you want, the glue allows you just to move it the tiniest bit. And then let's decorate the flap of the envelope here. So you might have seen in one of my videos for the Stately Flowers Set 12 a few weeks ago how I used the bold butterfly in that. Oh, and I forgot to put that on the card. I wanted to do that as well. So I used the bold butterfly to create a lacy scalloped border on the card front. I saw Donna Phelan do that on a triangular flap envelope in our gallery on Stamp TV. So I'm going to do that today. Actually, let me use the purple. I'm going to add this twice to the card. I forgot to add that there. One there and one here, and we'll do the little antenna in a second. And then on here, I want this to overlap just the tiniest bit of that flap. So I'm going to find where the edge of this flap is on my grid line mat here. And I'm just going to stamp it right there. So it's going to be peeking out over the edge. And then go off to either side. So you don't even have to measure. But you're going to keep it straight by moving outward. And then you have the same amount of the butterfly on either side. See, and that's just going to give you just that pretty little edge there. And then we'll add our little antenna. So these are 2 steps so that you can add the antenna in black. And this antenna fills a butterfly from my Stately Flowers 4 set. So you just pop the antenna on there and right there. And that's it. Card's complete. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how easy it is to use these Distress Oxide inks, just how these are a little bit different from your die pads or your pigment pads. Put all these together right here. And make sure that you check out that You Get Me set. These greetings are just great for any time of year for all of your friends. Please visit my blog, Hands, Head, and Heart, for more ideas and inspiration using all of our stamp sets, and visit us at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV. Thank you for watching today. Let me know in the comments your favorite colors or favorite combinations from this particular stamp set. Thank you for watching.